What's up, everybody? Welcome. I am PLD.
And I'm Richard-Erik Jarvi.
And I'm Matty Gunner, and this is Class Action.
The classiest movie show on the
The
interwebs.
nicest other guys you'll ever meet.
Oh,
Or the other nicest guys you'll ever meet. I don't Either way, it was pretty good. What's up, gentlemen? How are you doing, Rick?
for some reason, really sleepy today. Don't know what it's about. Could be the 5 scotch.
Wake up!
Maybe not.
Are you sure it's not something you put in your drink? Are you drinking?
Well, I only put ice in my scotch, so
ice. Oh,
dilutes it.
That's what it is. Matty, how about you, my friend? How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Like I've been feeling a little bit weird, a little bit run down, but I'm gonna blame the climate because it's gone from really hot to like really rainy and thunderstorms, and so I'm gonna blame the climate, and I'm also gonna blame Mercury and retrograde and all that other bullshit.
All right, so you guys are a little down, and I'm gonna have to be the energy to pick you up. Just let me know if you start seeing a bumblebee talking in the background, then I'll know you're sleeping. So we're all good. All right.
Man, what a freaking scene!
We are here today to discuss two movies that, in retrospect, I feel like this should have been an easy pick for us to do. But at the same time, it's really almost more surface level easy pick. It's just the two names. You got nice guys and you got the other guys. Other guys, you got the nice guys. And they're both buddy cop type duos. Yet really beyond that, they're very different movies.
But again, so similar as well. Like it's so when you try to think of who gets the category, it's so hard to decide. They're so neck and neck at everything.
Speaking of categories, we should say that. This is what we do on Class Action. We take two shows, movies, sometimes actors, sometimes directors, sometimes, characters, anything like that, franchises, and we put them up against each other. And we throw at them 5, 4, 5, 6 different categories that are custom made for the steel cage match, as it were.
Custom made.
Custom
in
made.
This week.
Custom made. Sometimes they're even last minute. And we throw them out there and see which of these two titanic movies in this case win the battle. And that's what we're doing this week. The nice guys versus the other guys. Good to see Refism in the chat. Love that. Tired to work a graveyard shift. Me too, my brother. Me too. So
we got a little bit of pushback from this one. A lot of people were like, how dare you put these two movies against each other?
Yeah, I'm surprised. Really? If we were to have a fast, what do we call it there, Jarvi?
Who pushed us?
What do you call it? A snap judgment. If we were to have a snap judgment like we used to do, it seems like a lot of the people's snap judgments were nice guys blows the other guys away. Like one is a great movie, one is a fine, fun movie. I love both.
Like we're kind of like forcing them into doing it, like under duress. Like people like, why? We love both these movies. Why are you making us choose?
Yeah, that's
true.
But
we're extinguishing one of them from existence. So this is what we do on Class Action. Whichever wins, the other one just disappears. You'll never get to see those movies again, right? Right, guys?
Yeah, it must be what happens. I guess. I mean, I usually do say to the death. I guess what that's to the death means. Whew. All right, well, let's get into it then. The first game we like to play before we get into the actual trial. This is like the pre-trial ceremonies. We play a game that I love, Matty loves, and Richard-Erik Jarvi loves, and hopefully the crowd still loves. It is my favorite. What would Ed Harris play? Now, of course, we all know that Ed Harris is the greatest actor alive. We all know that. And we like to see what he would do if we put him into this movie or these movies. We can either recast a role as Ed Harris, or we can create a role for Ed Harris. Either way, it's a lot of fun, and sometimes we come up with some brilliant ideas. Usually Jarvis is more brilliant when he doesn't prepare. Usually when he wings it, he gets better at it. When he prepares, it's too much. It's like too much, and you're like, no.
I did not remember it this week.
Oh, so it's going to be brilliant this week as you do it. Okay, great. Good to know. It's always also Jarvis. I got to say, Jarvis, you make me laugh every time you say that because it's your favorite game, and you always forget to do it.
I don't know what's going on with my memory lately because you could tell it happened today as well. It was like, guys, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry I forgot to prep the show notes for today. You're like, it's there. It's in the doc. I did it last week and I totally forgot.
Damn.
Wow. I'm getting old, man.
Should I start with Matty then? Is that what you want me to do? Start with Matty we'll start with the other guys. Matty.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Oh boy.
I was hoping you'd say that we start with the other guys.
Okay.
I got a great one for Ed Harris.
Okay.
It's a small role.
That's all right.
Very, very small role. It would be somewhat of a cameo.
That's okay. He does good.
I think Ed Harris should play the Free Dogs for Life guy.
I can't remember.
When the Rock and Samuel L. Jackson are standing receiving the award,
Free hot dog for life.
The hot dog guy.
No drinks.
Free hot dogs for life, but no drinks. I can.
No drinks.
I can't do drinks. Can't do drinks.
Imagine Ed Harris with that Ed Harris scowl on his face. No drinks.
That's the best part about it. Exactly. It'd be kind of like, free hot dogs, but no drinks, motherfucker.
Now that I think of it, he would have made a pretty damn cool duo for Samuel L. Jackson as well.
That'd be interesting. Yeah, talk about like the old Major League 2, White Lightning and Black Thunder, or whatever they do. That movie they did with Jesse Ventura. I don't wear apps in that one. That was good. I'll throw since Reef puts this in the chat. Ed Harris replacing Michael Keaton and the other guys. I totally was on board with this. This was my original pick, was to put him as Michael Keaton. I did hesitate because, first of all, Ed Harris would make that role rock. I mean, Michael Keaton is probably one of the best things about this film.
Oh, for sure.
By far is hilarious. And I love the TLC joke, the whisper fight thing. I do think it's exactly the kind of role Ed Harris would make. I actually going to change my mind a little bit, though. Okay. I do. Because I like Keaton so much in it, I want to keep Keaton in the movie as well. I'm going to introduce a role. Ed Harris is a captain at another precinct. And Ed Harris, maybe he's even Michael Keaton's brother. And maybe he's like Michael Keaton's older brother. And so like he's the one that always beats up on Michael Keaton kind of thing. Whereas Michael Keaton like is trying to make things work. And that's the thing. He works at Bed Bath & Beyond. But Ed Harris also secretly has a job at a different place, just like Michael Keaton.
Are you reading? Like, that's the one that I came up with on the spot. I actually put that down. Michael Keaton's brother and his boss in Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going.
That's what I have in my show notes that I just came up with.
Oh, I am reading your notes. I guess I'm reading your notes. That's what it is.
Dude, I'm using the wrong show notes.
Maybe you are. Oh, well, then I guess we don't have to ask you at this point, Jarvi, but that's okay.
That would introduce a very cool, like, dynamic shift because Keaton is the boss in the precinct, but in Bed Bath & Beyond, it's his brother who's the heart, and he's sort of the, the more, I don't know, what's the word for it? The quieter guy, the one who's, being controlled.
I think that'd be fucking funny. That's for the sequel. If one ever gets made, we introduce Ed Harris' brother as the boss, the general manager of Bed Bath & Beyond somehow. I love it. All right, then let's move on to the nice guys there. Do you have one for that, Matty?
I do. I think he would be great as Blueface.
Blueface. Okay. Okay. I like that idea. I think that's quite it's definitely in his wheelhouse. He definitely has that moment where he starts flipping out on him and stuff. I like that.
So Avatar's in the nice guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Jarvis got to bring up Avatar.
Yes. PJ in the chat, I give it 10.
Yeah, waiting for PJ to come in now.
PJ just woke up like, what the fuck?
6, 5.
That's right. He'll come in a little later, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's in our chat. All right. I like Blueface a lot. That's a good one. What about you, Jarvis? Do you have one for this one?
Yeah, it's a cameo, a very small role, but it's where Russell Crowe is talking about his wife, and it's a flashback, and his wife says, "I'm fucking your father." Boom, we get a flashback. Ed Harris fucking Russell Crowe's wife.
That's a winner.
I'm taking that as a good sign.
That is a winner. I don't even want to go now. I don't even want to, that is you have won the day. I'm trashing mine. That is the pick. That is what we're doing.
Holy shit. Now you guys see what we mean by when Jarvi doesn't prepare. Like
brilliance. Oh god.
It's all downhill from here though.
Oh my god. I had nothing
Ed
like
Harris
that.
Fucking Russell.
All right. I literally am not going to even bother at this point. Let's move on.
I want to know yours though.
So more at this point, I mean, I went through it a lot. I thought of Blueface. I thought of John Boy. Obviously, that's a typical Ed Harris type role. I decided to go instead. I wanted to go kind of a cameo as well. I went ahead and said I'm going to replace Hannibal Buress with Ed Harris as the voice of Bumble. I want Ed Harris as the Bumblebee voice in the car.
I didn't know that.
That was Hannibal Buress.
Oh, that's really cool.
That's my idea. It's not quite as good. I was looking for some laughs with that. I think Ed Harris's voice would be a lot different than that guy. But I'd like a drunken Ed Harris talking to Ryan Gosling. That'd be fucking sweet. But you just stole my thunder because I couldn't. That does not compare to
Jarvi. That was so fucking funny.
Jarvi, I salute you for that, man. This is why I hired you. This is why I have you on the show. Let's move on.
I was not expecting it to go down that way.
Jarvi wins. Actually, it's funny. We should do this every week. We actually should vote after the end of our. We display our people who wins the recasting what we're going with
the Ed Harris game.
Yeah, this is what we're going with. This is what the class action decides. The class action, we have decided that for that we're going with Ed Harris in that role in the Nice Guys.
Okay, so I think Jarvi wins this week.
I think Jarvi definitively
wins this week. I'll take the prize this week.
I'll make you a prize. I'll make you a flag. I'll put the Ed Harris shirt on there, and I'll medal it to you or whatever.
No, you could make a graphic that you just put on screen as a medal with Ed Harris' face on it or something.
I really should. I could do that. I wish I could do graphics, but all righty then. With that out of the way, let's move on to the actual meat of the show, the actual trial. We have 6 categories we're going to be tackling. And let's go through them. The first one we got. Do you want me to name? I always forget this. Do we want me to name the categories first?
I think it's good if we name them. People know what to expect.
Okay, I'm here for that. We're going to go with 6 categories this week. 1, better humor. 2, better action. 3, better story. 4, better sequel. 5, better rewatchability. And 6, the better buddy cop duo.
Okay, so you're switching that one out. I thought the last one was going to be rewatchability.
No, sliding rewatchability after sequel. That's what I was wondering. So I think we got to end. I think ending with buddy cop duo because that's the real crux of these 2 comparisons. Honestly, in my mind. So let us go.
I'm sorry, I'm still can't get over
I still am too. That's a clip right there. Brilliant. I think it was actually.
And you could even say he's like, you walked into the wrong goddamn bedroom this time.
I love it.
I'm up here. She's down there.
Oh.
And then if we do make a sequel, Ed Harris as the father gets to come back and be a bigger role, right? That's what we're doing. All right, good.
For sure.
With the wife by his side or with the girl by his side. All right, let's start with better humor. We're going to start with you, Richard, on this one. Better humor.
Yeah, this first off, before we get into the categories, each and every one of these categories was such a struggle for me to decide. Because, so whenever I'm picking one or the other, just know I friggin' love both those movies. But let's dive in. The humor in The Nice Guys, I feel like it's very specific. It's very Shane Black. And what that means, it's coincidental, it's unexpected, and at times it's very much over the top. Like the dream sequence, for example, like we just talked about. Him just dreaming up a freaking bee in the back seat. And also repetitive at times, but it's woven together in like a very intricate way because the storyline and everything, it makes it work like a beautiful symphony altogether. And even though no, actually I'll save this one for better action. With the other guys, I feel like it's as good, if not even better with in a very obvious way. Like the humor is much more in your face style kind of humor. I know both are like American movies, but in a weird way, I'd say the other guys has like more of an American style humor in it. And it's definitely like, it's beautiful what they do with the humor. Like the way Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell, like they're back and forth when Mark's just insulting Will Ferrell, telling him he'll fuck his tuna girlfriend, when The Rock's trying to save the story about Arnold Schwarzenegger and he gets interrupted. It's freaking damn hilarious. And one line I have to bring out, it's when Steve Coogan is talking about, I think he's like holding a speech or something, And he says, "I myself have 18 Lamborghinis and a Subaru station wagon." Like that's his brag. But I still got to give this to The Nice Guys because of its unexpected, sort of quirky way about it, and it's so freaking hard to say because The Other Guys feels like is your obvious pick for better humor. And there's like two scenes that I really want to bring out in both movies. There's Michael Keaton line where he goes when people are, I think they're arguing again, something's going on. He just says, "Shake your dicks. This pissing contest is over." Gives the smirk.
I love that line.
Like he's so happy with the line that he just says, "He's go." And in The Nice Guys, Ryan Gosling goes, "You know who else was following orders? Hitler." Goes like that. That's like exactly the same thing what happened in The Other Guys.
That's true. That's true. I never thought of
love that one. But The Nice Guys just edges it out for me because of its unexpectedness, if that's even a word.
That is fair. Christo, good to see you in the chat, of course. Coach for the guys are next level.
It is. What's up, Christo? The lines, I mean, it's so close. It's so damn close.
I actually piggyback off that. I like what you said about Shane Black and how it the interwoven comedy with everything else. It does feel that way. Other Guys is definitively more just overt humor, more crass humor, more, I don't know, crass is the right word. I even hate to say this because this sounds like a backhanded compliment and almost sounds like an insult at the same time in a way. I feel like The Nice Guys is more, it's smarter humor. In a way, and it's not that it's The Other Guys isn't clever, but Nice Guys is definitely more kind of a upper level, more. You kind of go with that to humor. Well, Other Guys is very much Will Ferrell, Adam McKay, kind of like over the top. And both are completely funny. Both have completely got they both have histories where I love Shane Black movies, I love Will Ferrell movies. It just depends on what you're in the mood for, right? So with that in place, it's almost impossible to me. I'm going to bring it back to what you said even before you started. I agree that this set of categories, looking through, there was nothing that I went, this is just slam dunk for anything. They're both, and it's because they're so different movies. It's basically more of like what kind of film are you in the mood for? That's the kind of what wins in a way. So I almost hate declaring a winner in any case, but we have to because that's our job. And that's Krista. That's great. You drink beer with The Other Guys, and you drink whiskey or scotch with The Nice Guys. And that's what it is. So I guess it depends on what your flavor is. But me, I'm probably more of a whiskey guy overall. So I think I will slide just barely. I'm going to have to give it to The Nice Guys just barely.
Wow, I was so sure both of you are going to The Other Guys for humor.
I love The Other Guys' humor. I laugh my ass off at that movie all the time. I'm in the fucking scene where
aim for the bushes.
Aim for the bushes. Wahlberg talks about shooting Derek Jeter. As a Red Sox fan, that makes me even happier.
I thought that was great because he's a fucking Bostonian as well.
That's exactly what they did it probably.
But they do switch it around at the end. Is like sort of someone like makes an apology for him. Like he shouldn't have run at you or something like that.
Right,
sort of like excusing him of what he did. I can't remember what it was about. But.
Do you think that was kind of a setup for Mark Wahlberg? Like they were like, "Hey, we know you're from Boston. We're gonna have you be the guy that shot Derek Jeter."
I would probably give me the gun. I'll really do it. I'll really do it. But that and the whole sequence with like the whole Will Ferrell's gator sequences and his sequences with his wife. They've been like all her like, she's not that great. She's not that hot kind of thing. I was like, no, seriously, who is that?
Who is that? What is going on?
What is going on? It's so great. It's so great.
Who did you lose your virginity to? Oh, she's now a TV actress. Heather Locklear.
You went Heather Locklear? What? I know. Here the funny thing is, I gave it to Nice Guys. I'm still like throwing out the Other Guys' humor. I guess it's weird that way, but Nice Guys' humor is definitely more down. Like it's more like I don't know how to say it. Russell Crowe, fat, like sweaty, healthy, big Russell Crowe.
Dad bod Russell Crowe.
So dad bod, sweaty Russell Crowe. He is so fucking good in that. The whole thing. You swam in the pool. Right there. Well, we'll get to that level. I'll get the buddy cup section later on, but I will say here I'm going to slide over to the Nice Guys barely. So now, Matty, it's up to you. Do we sweep with the Nice Guys, or are you going to give it to the more?
I thought that this category for me would be closer than I found it. simply because one thing we need to account for is the delivery when it comes to comedy. Yeah. I feel like as great as Will Ferrell is, you could swap him out for anyone else. Steve Carell, anyone else that's in the Anchorman cast, any of that group of comedic actors, I feel like they could do the exact same thing. Ryan Gosling delivering some of the humor that he delivers in The Nice Guy, I was like, I did not see it coming from this guy.
That's like, exactly it. It's unexpected.
The one of the jokes that fucking got me was the Munich eunuch, where he kept saying a Munich. Munich's a guy. Like, and then Russell Crowe just fucking turns to him and goes, "Munich is a city in Germany." I was like, and then just to save it, Ryan Gosling goes, "Oh, Hitler only had one nut."
You know what? I got to throw this in there because I just thought about it. It's a similar thing. A similar thing with delivery. The similar thing about delivery, and it's like not even like a great big joke. The idea where like the daughter calls him the world's worst detective over and over again, and she hates him. And he comes up with this idea, and he has the idea. He goes, "Well, good luck at the airport." Like, this is what this means. This is what this means. And they go to the apartments, and it's all burned down. So basically, it turned out he had no clue whatsoever. And he looks at him. Crow looks at him and just goes, "No, it's the airport done." Like, just totally the best delivery.
But then again, stumbles upon another clue and finds the hotel.
And we talked about
it's like so coincidental.
Just before we went on air, there's the joke like where they take Amelia back to the house and like the door's friends there. She goes, "I thought you were your friends." And he goes, "Oh no, my sister kicked us out. Apparently she's got a guy over." And Gosling just casually walks through and goes, "Your sister's such a slut."
And she goes, I know.
He's talking about a fucking like young teenage girl, and I was just like, Jesus Christ.
And that came from... Good to see you, Andres. Good to see you.
Happy birthday, Andres. I know it's his birthday today.
So happy birthday to the ghost. Happy birthday to the ghost.
But that kind of comedy and that, especially that dry delivery from Gosling, I didn't see it coming, and for him to pull it off and make me laugh as hard as he did.
You know what I want to throw out there too? Now you're talking about it. Like similarly, Angry Rice as his daughter was so good. Right. It reminded me a lot.
We have to talk about her in some capacity.
Yeah, and this is the time to do it. It actually reminded me a lot of God, I'm blanking on her name.
Movie?
She was with she's in The Equalizer with
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Chloe Grace Moretz, thank you. Yeah. And she had that role very early on in her career, 500 Days of Summer. It was kind of like that.
Oh, yes.
Very much that I am the young but very precocious girl who's dealing with a lot
arrogant,
bit arrogant,
smart for her own good.
The star, like adult stuff comes out of her mouth, like you're like,
don't
oh my
say
God.
Anal and stuff.
Don't say anal and stuff. Just say doing anal.
Just say anal.
That bit, I was a bit like, wait, hold on. Is this scene really happening? That this minor is in a fucking strip club watching an anal porn video? Like, oh, they really putting this in here?
Yeah.
She does that role very brilliantly throughout the whole film, and that she still maintains like a weirdly to say innocent vibe to her. Once all you see that she sees that she's out of her element kind of thing, but it works for the entire movie. And her and Gaz's relationship are fucking spot on. I can't get over that.
It's perfect. Well, I'm gonna get it way more into that when we get to the better duo.
Okay. Fair enough.
In case I didn't say it, I'm giving this to The Nice Guys.
Okay.
Wow. Sweep.
All right. Then we move on to better action. Oh boy, this is a tougher one. We're going to start with you, Matty.
Again, a toss-up.
You guys know that, like, I am a lover of all things 80s action cheese.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna come out and say I'm giving this to the other guys solely based off of that opening fucking scene with The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson, and it's looking like it's just so over the top, and all the explosions and the catchphrases all capped off by the end where he just swings the bus round and he shoots Samuel L. Jackson's car out of the fucking bus into the building, like completely misses the bad guys, like by a country mile, goes completely over their heads, and just goes exploding into the building. I was just like, that is so 80s action. It is fucking perfect.
And they're considered as heroes for destroying the entire city. These are their heroes for this city.
Wasn't it for like 72 grams like worth of marijuana?
It was a half a gram, but it was like a half a gram.
Half a gram of marijuana.
Was it worth
it? I don't know. Do you think New York? Let's see what New York City says. New York City, greatest city in the world.
Yeah. Free hot dogs for life.
Oh my god, I totally agree with you. It's like
the
we want
to
be 80s
Kim Kardashian true.
No comment. But yes.
Was Kim Kardashian famous already back then?
I think she was
just about
just enough.
It's like when the sex tape stuff started coming out.
Right. The comeback story.
Again, this is about different styles, though. Again, both are hilarious in their own right. Both have great action in their own right, but they're different styles of action. And Matty, you already hit it on the head. The other guys is definitely more. It's an action hero movie of the 80s set in it's made in 2010. It's feels like an 80s action buddy comedy. It knows the cliches and it leans into them completely, but yet still makes it the same way. So goes with it and goes for it. And I gotta say, I love that shit too. That's like my bread and butter, really. Especially that it's a kind of a wink and a nod at the same time it's doing it. So a little bit of I actually remember this made me feel a little bit like an update of Last Action Hero to a degree. Not quite as meta, but in that realm of meta-ness in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of felt that. The action in The Nice Guys is fun. There's a lot. The fight sequences are hilarious. Keith David versus Russell Crowe was a great fight with the
old man punching.
Jacuzzi. It's the old exactly. It's old man punching. The whole shootout at Marsh's house. The fight between Blueface and Keith David in the apartment of Holland. There's a lot of good stuff in there. However, if you're going to go just pure action, the other guys is where you got to go. So I'm going to give it to the other guys as well.
It's a car chase.
It's
for fuck's sake.
There was they drive the Prius through like a frigging mound of cocaine, and the Prius is completely covered in cocaine, and they get arrested. Did you see what one of the bad guys does? Goes over the hood like. Whoop. It's a very small moment in the movie. It's like, oh, did that just fucking happen?
Real quick, Jarvi, before you do your thing, one thing we completely forgot to mention in the bad comedy part is the soup kitchen line.
Oh my god!
What was it?
Both the soup kitchens. Oh my god! The moments they talk. Oh.
What was the soup kitchen line?
Well, they're talking about the homeless orgy in the back of the Prius. They call that a soup kitchen.
And they call back to that. By the way, if you remember watching Ben and Drew did it when they covered the other guys, they mentioned that was the actor totally improvised that. Totally improvised some of those lines, and it kind of stuck, and it became like just hilarious. Like, how does it come about? That's the call soup kitchen. Like,
it smells like a deer vagina back here.
And Steve Coogan gets in the car and he's like, why does it smell like deer vagina in here? Way
I love it later on. They come back and you see the homeless guys. They're like, they invite them in there, like, hey, that's my car. And as they're running away, the homeless guy's like, we will have sex in your car. It will happen.
It will happen. Oh, we gotta. We're in the better action category, guys.
I know.
We gotta focus.
I know. I felt like I had to bring that up because we forgot.
The soup kitchen is a definitely different kind of action, but it still fits.
Oh, dude, that works. That works. Nice save. For me, it's way harder to again. Like you guys seem to be really locked in with your picks. I think. All right, I'll start with the other guys. I think Adam McKay surprisingly delivers a very well. I wasn't expecting a very good action movie from Adam McKay, but I think the stunts are really great. There's a really cool scene with Mark Wahlberg and motorbikes, like when he fucks up the goons on the street. He goes like full freaking, I don't know, action hero mode right there. And the boardroom scene when White Stripes and Nicky Thumb comes on, when they're just wrecking shit up in the freaking boardroom. I think with the other, with the Nice Guys, the action is almost indistinguishable and separatable from the comedy. They're so hand in hand all together, and that's what I feel like makes it so unique. And it's almost like kind of slapsticky at times. There's like even moments, we talked about it before the show, where Ryan Gosling at the very end just goes, "I'm indestructible. I can't be killed. There's got to be the explanation for it." And it happens at the perfect time, because everything's been sort of coincidences. Everything's going their way. You're like, okay, come on. It feels like they're superheroes now. Everything is going in their way. But he kind of pulls it back with that comment. He sort of, it's like self-referential in that way. They sort of blow the lid off of everything that's been building up with all these coincidences. But because this is an action comedy, I feel like because they're so inseparable, I gotta go the nice guys. I gotta go against the grain here. I feel like the action. Oh, one more thing. You were talking about Russell Crowe and Old Man Punching. It's so freaking funny. Russell Crowe jumps through windows twice, and he does that with gymnastic precision.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's like flies into the cover.
Was it him or was it a stunt double?
Just goes whoop through the window like stuntman, rolls over, gets back up, super heavy again. Like it's really funny when.
Oh my god!
There.
I'm sorry, I have to throw it in there. I know we're talking action again, but during the scene when he throws himself through the window at March's apartment, rolls behind the wall, March, gun.
Yeah, but that's also action.
Yeah,
it's indistinguishable from the humor.
It is.
Like the very first scene that Ryan Gosling tries to break into a warehouse or something, he's trying to break the glass.
That's a lot of blood.
Just blood starts gushing through. It's a lot of
blood.
So much blood. And the next scene, they're in an ambulance. He's there yelling, "We're losing him."
All right.
Oh my god.
Well, I gotta say, I will push back on you, Jarvi, and say that this is not an easy. Like I'm making it sound like it's locked in, because it's not locked in. I get it. It really isn't. It's really depending on what I feel like at the moment. It really is. Because you said nice guys. I'm almost wanting to change my answer because I get it. It's a different type of action, but it is still absolutely action. But I made my choice. I'm sticking with it for now. We'll move on to category number 3. Better story. I'll take this one. To me, this was one of the more closest to a. This was the closest to a definitive decision for me. Pretty quickly early on. As much as I love the other guys, this is definitely the nice guys for me, because the nice guys. I mean, the other guys has a great storyline. There's some fun moments in it. There's definitely some A to B to C, but it's definitely more of like a. It's still more of a Saturday Night Live action movie than anything else. There's point A, B, and C, but there's not a lot of intricacy there. The ending where you find out that the whole police pension's involved, that's kind of a nice little twist in there overall. But the nice guys is just from A to B, and from A to Z. It goes in so many different directions, but it's all so intricately connected, and it's so well crafted. The story beats move from it's almost like it goes from A to C, back to B, then to D, but it takes you with it. But it takes you with the story, so you're moving with the story, kind of mostly like Gosling and Crowe are in a way. So I gotta say that, because it's almost like degree of difficulty. You know what I mean? When you're doing a dive off in the Olympics, if you're doing a dive off the diving board, you gotta have that degree of difficulty thrown in. Somebody can just jump off and go right down and hit. Yeah, they got a 10 out of 10. Then some guy comes up and just flips and throws his legs out and still ends up perfectly there. That makes it a degree of difficulty. And so with that degree of difficulty in mind, I got to give this to the nice guys.
Complete agreement with you right there. I think the other guys does have a very complex story for that type of movie, because I couldn't really narrate the story if I tried to remember it. I think there's a lot of corruption, a lot of I think there's even trading schemes in there somehow with the Steve Coogan character. So it's pretty damn complex, but the nice guys, again, it is so multi-layered. And if you even take away the humor, you take away the action, you could make a noir detective story out of this easily. Yes. And it'd be super engaging. Like you got the porn industry, you got the car manufacturer lawsuit right there, the missing persons, even just their personal sort of journeys with Ryan Gosling, family trouble, everything right there. So this is, and I'm in agreement with you right there. It's the easiest of the categories for me to decide on. So definitely the Nice Guys.
Lego seems to think so as well. Hey, Lego, good to see you as always.
What's up, Lego?
All right.
I guess I'm gonna have to be the one then.
You are gonna have to be the one that looks like.
I'm gonna have to be the one.
Go ahead.
Whereas I think I would love to see what Rian Johnson could do. I know we're gonna get into talking about sequels. I would love to see what Rian Johnson could do with a Nice Guys movie, because it could very well be a very good like murder mystery kind of detective noir kind of story. I love a good Eat the Rich story. I'm a sucker for it, especially like times like now where like politicians are using like backwards ways to funnel money through and all that kind of stuff, and just guys that were kicked down so low to the point where Mark Wahlberg is now working traffic, and he's just like, I don't want to go to work fucking traffic, and then suddenly like, this is my corner, like on the corner
he's
of
the
what
best
is it,
at
like
it.
56th and 3rd, like this is my corner, the traffic flows, and he's like absolutely loving it. I'm a sucker for a good Eat the Rich story, so I'm gonna have to go with other guys like solely on that.
Interesting points. I mean, I can't argue against it, obviously. So
it's definitely a heart pick more than a smart pick, but
sometimes that's where you got to go, though. That's where you got to go. Got to go with your heart sometimes. So I can't argue against that. All right, let's move on to category number 4, better sequel potential. Ooh, I gotta actually take this one up top because I want to mention something. This is not really out there in the big time world. Back when I was on Call to Action, I'm still technically on Call to Action. We just don't really do much.
You guys giving this an exclusive right now?
Well, I'm kind of giving an exclusive, but it's in a way because it's an exclusive we actually dropped this exclusive a while back. It wasn't pitched. It wasn't ever caught up. Christian mentioned it later on the show that he was surprised after watching this Chilled Action. Chilled Action, me and Danny, we interviewed Ethan Irwin, big time Ethan Irwin, who is a producer involved in The Nice Guys. And this was never picked up. I checked the wiki page to see if it was on the wiki page. It's not on there, so I assume it's not been picked up anywhere else. Nobody watched a couple hundred people know this, whoever watched our Chilled Action episode and whoever listened to Christian the next day. Ethan Irwin mentioned that Shane Black had written 2 scripts, 2 sequel scripts for The Nice Guys. 2 of them he had written.
It was supposed to be a franchise.
It was going to be
and
a
they
franchise.
didn't follow up on it. Why?
Because nobody went and saw the movie in the theater.
Such a shame. It's such a shame.
So those sequels are in the drawer somewhere, still there. And Ethan Irwin would love to make them. He said he wanted to make them. He's been pushing to try to make them. But unfortunately, did not do well at the box office. And that, my friends, is the biggest shame in the history. Not the biggest, but up there in one of the biggest shames in the history.
And you should have pulled that clip and we should have played it.
I didn't think about it until about 2 minutes before I actually tried to find it, but I can't find it. I couldn't find it, but it is in there. It was great. It was 2 scripts are there, done, ready to go at some point. I mean, I still think you can make it today and be just fine with that. I think it would be even better.
Just
I'm hoping
have Jeff Bezos buy it for Amazon.
Yeah,
just pump all the money into it and just give Shane Black.
That's what I'm hoping for. That is what I am hoping for. With that being said, that does lead into my pick. I think The Nice Guys have the better sequel potential. The reason why I say that definitively is for the other guys. I love the other guys as a property, but it's one of those movies where the concept is done. Because they were the other guys in the beginning. By the end, they are not the other guys anymore. They solved the case. They've made their state. They are now respected as. So anytime you go forward in a sequel on that, it just brings it back. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like it's like you're resetting it, so it doesn't feel right. It feels like you're doing. It feels like you're doing it for a sequel, and it just feels cheap.
It shouldn't be called The Other Guys, though. It should be called something else if they do make a sequel for the other guys.
Right,
but the right guys.
But I'm saying, if you don't have the concept, then why even make a sequel? I mean, you have Will Ferrell and Matt, and I like their chemistry. Maybe have them make another movie or something. That's fine. I mean, they did. They made Daddy's Home, which is whatever, and Daddy's Home 2, which is even more whatever. I know it didn't have Keaton in it, but I mean, Mel Gibson. That's true. But either way, it just feels like it's betraying the concept. So I think if you're going to talk about which one of the two, if you have to pick one of the two, The Nice Guys is set up for sequels galore. It's not like they have at the end they're a duo agency now. They both have the Nice Guys agency. You could do like a Knives Out thing. You could just have, okay, this is the case, this is the next case, this is the next. You could go on for 10, 15 films with these guys, and it would just make absolute sense. So to me, it's much easier to decide if we're going to have one. I'm going to have The Nice Guys as the sequel. Jarvi, what do you think?
I think, and even if you wouldn't, I'm just going to continue your thought because I'm completely on the same page. The fact that they're starting their agency, you don't even have to have them solve a crime. Just do a really weird one where they're just trying to run an agency with other detectives there. Like they're in charge. They have to run the agency. Like something completely like wacky. Maybe even do a mini series out of it if you can't do a full movie. Just them trying to run an agency.
Ed Harris as his father is part of the agency.
Yes, there we go. And just Ryan Gosling sort of is the Charlie Runkle of the just keeps fucking up and like he tended to do throughout the entire movie. I do think that
she could be grown up and working there. Angry Rice could actually work in there as like a she kind of like the secretary-ish kind of thing. She kind of get out of the case, but she ends up solving more of the cases than they do eventually.
Just she's the actual brains of the operation.
Right. I think it's perfect.
But I do think you gave the other guys a bit of a hard time in a sense that I do feel like it's as prime for a sequel as The Nice Guys. I think enough time has passed. I think it would be kind of cool to see both Wahlberg and Ferrell come back and do a comedy that actually works for, because they've been playing together, like you said, Daddy's Home. They've been doing stuff on their own. Their comedies are just not hitting anymore. Something is just not clicking for them. So, of course, we're predicting that this would be a good movie, a great one like the first one. I feel like it could be really freaking special and take it in a complete different direction. Don't have them as the other guys. Have them as, The Rock and Samuel L. Jackson as they started, just like these hotshots that are wrecking shit up. And no. Just have them turn into, the right guys sort of now and just they're destroying the city and everything.
You could throw a prequel in there too. You could have, that's how you get them.
You could
still be the other guys at that point, potentially. Maybe I don't know. Just thought about it, but
they're a bit too old to play for a prequel.
There's de-aging. Come on. We got to de-age everybody now at this point.
But yeah, as much as I want to argue for the other guys, there's no way to go against the Nice Guys. You said it yourself. There's actual sequels penned out. I think the 80s. Wait, we were in the middle of... When did Jaws 2 come out?
Jaws 2 was...
No, it was 78
It was 78.
78, right. So I think we could go into the 80s now.
Yeah.
Because there was a big Jaws 2 poster when they were driving through the city. Just have it in real time. How much time? 6 years has passed?
No,
they've all aged the same way. Just have it in the 80s now and just do another freaking crime mystery.
In the 1984. Yeah. It would change the vibe of the whole film, considering the vibe of the film is very 70s. It's very 70s.
But 80s is also its own thing.
I don't know. Absolutely. You could do that in a way. Although, part of me loves the 70s vibe so much.
I know. I get that.
For that. But no, I get what you're saying too. So maybe we do. Well, okay, we'll do both. We'll do both.
And then the third one is the 90s.
Right.
That's my decade.
There you go. And they're still there doing old man detective working at that point.
For sure.
Okay. Cool. Ed Harris is like 103 years old at that point.
Still banging his wife, though.
Still comes out banging his wife. Absolutely. I think Russell Crowe should get a girlfriend every time. Ed Harris always just steals her.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Dude. That's the perfect.
That would be great. This Ed Harris banging every girlfriend that he gets.
Or in the next movie, he's banging Gosling's girlfriend or wife. It just keeps one-upping.
Nice. I love it. All right, Matt, it's up to you. Is it a clean sweep? Or
I think it is, because I love Will Ferrell. I really do, but I think he is. I think he's in the twilight of his career now.
I think sure.
there's
I get that.
there's only so much more that he can do with the skill set that he has. Plus, I wasn't a fan of Anchorman 2, so I don't trust Will Ferrell when it comes to sequels. He just seems to have this curse about Will Ferrell and sequels. Like, no, thank you. And God, the nice guys. You've got Russell Crowe, who was just in Thor: Love and Thunder.
He's even bigger and sweatier now.
Exactly, like he's even bigger and even sweatier. And you've got Gosling, who's just about to probably re-hit megastar status when Barbie comes out, because that movie's meant to be fucking incredible. So I think that people are going to look back at those two's career and be like, why didn't they do another The Nice Guys?
I think they already do look back on it, to be honest.
I mean, well, we do, but I think a lot of people that follow, like I was talking to my friend Andre the other day, I've never seen La La Land. And like, that's just because I'm not overly massive on musicals. He's convinced me to watch it, so I'm going to go back and watch it.
So good.
I think a lot of people who are going to like watch these movies and go back and go through like a Ryan Gosling like retrospect, they'll be like, that movie was great. Why didn't they follow up on that? Because you have the story, you have the bit at the end where they're talking about the next case with the woman's husband that thinks he's banging Linda Carter. Like you could go into that.
Yeah, 100%.
And have Gal Gadot in that movie.
That would be fucking great. Oh my God,
dude, we're writing this thing already.
Holy shit. Get Ethan on the phone now.
Yes.
In fact, Paul, you've got a direct line to him. Send him the link to this stream right now.
I should see it. It says, tell me.
It needs to happen. It's just, I'm still holding out hope.
Him live on this show.
I Googled the Nice Guy sequel today. And there was even like in August 2022, there was an article about how far the production is. Like, sure, it's a clickbait title, nothing's happening, but still, there's people are asking for it.
Right,
it's still up in the ether. It's just
there was a pitch on Fox to do a TV show, like, but it would be it did not make sense to me. It was like an updated version with like girls, like the nice girls.
No,
like,
sorry.
Oh,
no.
We don't need that for this.
You're not going to Ghostbusters this. No.
You don't have Crow and Gosling. And
no, they need to be in there.
That's without them and without Shane Black, it just would not make sense at all.
No,
you can do a mini series. Like today's, like the lines have been so blurred with series and TV. Just pump as much money into it and make it a mini series with the same actors, with the same director. It could work very well.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be interesting to see if we had to like go back and recast. I don't think we have time to do it now. I would like to see if we did have females, like two females, like say for the original 2016 film, if we had to create two females to fit those roles. Well, I don't know who they would be.
Sarah Silverman and Margot Robbie.
That right there might just do it. Actually,
it's not a bad one. That's a pretty good one. I like the Sarah Silverman of it.
I kind of like the Margot Robbie of it, to be honest. The other way, I think that'd be kind of fitting.
Everyone loves Margot Robbie.
Well, that's very true. That's very true.
Or Uma Thurman and Margot Robbie.
I want to see somebody a little bit like older, like the I hate saying the grizzled, not quite there, maybe like a Sigourney Weaver or something like that. Like, something like that, maybe potentially.
Sigourney Weaver could be the recast for Michael Keaton, though.
Oh, I could do that too.
She would be perfect for that one.
I really got to get Ethan on the phone. All right, there we go, guys. Let's go on to the final, or not the final now. The slid in there fifth category that I sprung on everybody. Someone was curious. Better watchability. I do. Well, before we do that, McCarthy and Bullock already done. That's already done. Whatever.
I actually thought of that, but it's the only thing is it's not set in a. It's modern day.
Right.
That's the only thing.
But that pairing could actually.
I mean, you could just throw Linda Carter in for the hell of it.
Linda Carter.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. All right, but glad to be better rewatchability. Again,
good call, Christo.
It's kind of a tough call to make because the whole thing, every category to me is about. I look at it and go, well, they're both great. It's just different styles. It's just different things, and this is no different for me. I'll throw it out there. I'm gonna give this to the other guys I think The Nice Guys probably is in some ways more rewatchable, but to the trial I got to put in my head is which one do I put on in the background? Which one do I put on the background like when I'm just like relaxing and chilling? Which one I got to it was on cable kind of thing. The Other Guys is an easier watch than The Nice Guys. I feel like The Nice Guys you should pay attention more. So I feel like just on that alone, I'll probably end up rewatching The Other Guys more just for like the laugh out loud, gut busting moments. When I want to sit down and watch a good movie, that's when I more rewatch The Nice Guys to a degree. Yeah. So I'm gonna just barely give it to The Other Guys. Matty, I'll go with you, Matty. What about you?
I think I'm gonna have to go with the same reasoning that I said for Predator versus Prey. If I like you said, if I want to sit down and watch a good movie, like if I've got a friend over or something, we're having dinner or something, just want to sit and watch a movie, like a good movie, I'll sit down and we'll put The Nice Guys on. If I'm just on my own, maybe I've had a shitty day and I just need some good cheap laughs, I'm throwing on The Other Guys. Because I know Will Ferrell's going to give me that. Mark Wahlberg, okay, maybe not so much, but I know Will Ferrell's going to make me laugh. Because Mark Wahlberg in The Other Guys is just, he's Mark Wahlberg. He's just an angry, screaming man from Boston with a New York accent.
I'm a peacuck. I got to fly.
And he does like a perfect.
I'm just going to tell you this, peacocks don't fly. I mean, they fly a little. They fly about as much as a penguin flies.
Fair enough. All right, Jarvi, this one's up to you.
I feel like I'm going back and forth with this one. So when I watched both these movies for this show, it felt like watching The Other Guys. I knew every joke that was coming up. I was prepared, and I was like, yes, this is, I can't wait for this scene to come up because I'm just going to laugh my ass off. It happened. I laughed. With The Nice Guys, sure, I've seen it fewer times, but there's something about The Nice Guys that you sort of rediscover it every time you watch it because there's so much in that movie. It's a 2-hour movie, but every time it feels like you're watching a 2-hour and a 30-minute movie, and in a good way. It doesn't drag. It's just very packed. It's very content heavy. But again, if I had to pick one of these as my desert island movie, like The Other Guys, I already know that I can keep rewatching it and knowing all the jokes that are coming up. With The Nice Guys, I'm not quite there because I can't imagine what happens with The Nice Guys if I watch it like 100 times over. It could get a little too smart for its own good, sort of, and I'm expecting these jokes and it's not hitting the same way. Like The Other Guys, that simplicity, sort of that in-your-face type of humor, actually works for The Other Guys in that sense. So I'm going with The Other Guys as well.
All right, there we go. We have our final category. We're down to here is where it all comes down to this. And to be honest with you, this is if I had to pick one category for one movie, for one battle we've had that it ever should come down to.
I completely forgot we still had this one left. I was like, oh, who's going to read out the result next? And then I was like, oh, shit, wait. We still got this one to go.
This is the big one.
Oh, God.
Better buddy cop duo. Now, granted, we know they're not cops and The Nice Guys, but they're kind of vaguely enough cops. So we're going to take that aside. We're going to consider them
cop.
It's still a buddy cop duo.
Neither of them are PIs, though. They're both like
non-PIs in a way.
Pretenders,
So
which duo is the better buddy cop duo? We're gonna start with Matty. I think he's got his finger up. He's ready to go.
Yeah. I'm gonna go straight lawyer on this one.
Ooh, we're lawyered.
The category is better duo. Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell suck as a duo. They suck. They cannot work together at all. Mark Wahlberg is constantly yelling at Will Ferrell, "You're not a cop, you're an accountant." And Will Ferrell's like constantly arguing with him. Mark Wahlberg wants to bang Will Ferrell's wife. That goes against the bro code from day dot. So as a duo, as a pairing, they suck. At least with Gosling and Crowe, like they find a common ground. And like, yeah, they started like at the beginning with Crowe breaking Gosling's arm. Not a best way to start a partnership.
That scream.
It's how I've started a few of my friendships, is trying to break each other's arms.
So that I believe. Thank you for not doing that with me, Matty. Just by the way, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's okay. I took mercy, but yeah, I feel like as the definition of the category of better duo, I gotta give it to the Nice Guys.
Perfect.
Because Wahlberg and Ferrell, and even the chemistry between the two actors. Let's face it.
All
right, Jarvi, let's see what you have to say.
That's what it comes down to with these two. It's the chemistry, and it's again, this is super difficult to decide because Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell do something it's just special what they do together. Sure, they're not the best when it comes to teamwork on paper, but somehow they actually do achieve their goals. When they're like, let's go good cop, bad cop, and they both go bad cop, Steve Coogan still spills the beans. Like, at first, I'll talk to you. You're the reasonable one. And he just goes fucking ape shit on him. They almost had it, and they took it one too far, and it still worked.
Yeah, that's true.
Why do you call yourself Gator? It was just a nickname in college.
Right. Oh, my God. He was a pimp. But I think what makes it edge out towards the Nice Guys for me is the fact that we weren't prepared for Gosling and Crowe to do these kinds of roles. No. We are expecting Wahlberg and Ferrell to do these kinds of comedies, action comedies. Mm-hmm. Gosling is pretty much like he still is in that sort of gunning for an Oscar phase. Crowe has gotten, he's got one Oscar, 2 nominations, right?
Correct.
Like a crazy run that he's at. And they're both having so much damn fun, and I'm talking about Gosling and Crowe here. I think Ryan Gosling has one of the best sarcastic faces in the business. Like when he gives that sort of just like, I can never do that when he's at the old lady's house and she asks him to check up on his husband. It's like, oh, well, you see the ashes are there. When has he been missing? Haven't seen him since the funeral. It's like, oh, yeah, well, can't take this money. And she brings out the checkbook and just gives this look from the door. He's totally on board. Give me all the money. I think it's the unexpected chemistry and the unexpected role choices for Gosling and Crowe that makes me pick the Nice Guys. Over Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, who are fucking insanely good, though.
All right.
And I mean, look at the roles that Gosling's had, like La La Land, Blade Runner 2049,
Drive.
Mm-hmm. And then he pulls in some shit like this, and I was just like, anyone who says Ryan Gosling is a one-dimensional actor, there's the fucking door.
He's a fuck up in this movie. Also, he's like fucking up throughout the movie.
Yeah, 100%.
Almost throughout the entire movie, he keeps succeeding, but that's sort of
bumbles in success. That's his
exactly. And he plays it so convincingly and so lovingly.
Right. All right. I want to say real quick, Kelly. Always good to see you. Much love. Thanks for popping in and say hey. Yes, Pim turned accountant. I will say, if I'm going to answer this, I hear what both of you guys are saying. I find it funny, Matty. You definitely took the definition a different way than I did. You went with the actual duo. I was kind of more feeling like when I looked at the Better Buddy Cop 2, I kind of meant more of like the chemistry between them and like how they perform together in a way. Perfectly, both are valid. So in that case, but I still feel like, as much as I actually do think Matt, Mark, and Will work well together. I do think they have a kind of a rhythm. They have kind of a chemistry that could be exploited with good material. Unfortunately, they haven't gotten good materials. The other guys, pretty much. Daddy's Home is actually all right. It's not the first Daddy's Home is all right, but you've taken again that degree of difficulty. You put Ryan Gosling in there with Russell Crowe. You had no idea what to expect, except that they're both good performers. But neither of them were known for this kind of shtick. And they make it work so perfectly, so crystal. Like there is no like training wheels for this. It's almost like they've been doing this for years. For years, it feels like they've had 7 sequels already because that's how like much their chemistry worked in this film, in ways that just shouldn't have worked. But so I got to make it easy, more of an easy choice for me. The Nice Guys is my favorite buddy cop duo comparatively. Again, it might have to help that I like the story better. Like I like the story a little bit better as far as how it's weaved, so it kind of builds more. Whereas I still look at the other guys as kind of more of like a Saturday Night Live sketch in a way.
It is. It's almost like a stand-up comedy type of humor,
right?
In a way, and it's a good thing. And exactly.
Yeah. It does what it's supposed to do. But if I have to choose which one's the better duo, I got to go with these guys. So I'm going to go with that as well, which means we are done. We are done.
And real quick, Lego, I need you to send me a link to Ryan Gosling's band. If that motherfucker wasn't talented enough, like I didn't know he was in a band. He looks, he can act, and he's in a band. What?
He can dance.
He can dance.
He can dance.
Yeah, someone please send me a link to Ryan Gosling's band. I need to hear that.
Discography, yeah.
Have you seen the video where he's talking about when he was dancing as he was like 12 or something? The story.
Yeah.
I think it was on what's the talk show? Graham Norton.
Oh yeah. I like Graham Norton. Yeah. It's a fun show. All right, well that is it, folks. You ready for the outcome? Who's going to win? Who walks away? I think you pretty much can tell at this point. I think it's not like it's very close. Winning 12-6.
Well, that's fun.
12-6 is the Nice Guys is the winner, which makes a lot of sense to me, and this is kind of what everybody told us is going to go down anyway.
PJ will be very happy.
PJ will be very happy indeed. I do think that they did good a job, I did do a good job, like fighting back a little bit. They did at least make their presence known. But at the end of the day, one's going to go, one's going to stay.
If you had to pick just off the cuff, it's way tougher than it seems. 12-6.
Yeah,
it'd be way tougher to decide for me, at least.
I would actually say this was this 12-6 has been closer than some like ties we've had. Like I feel like as far as the category, because they're always very close in every category. It's just again what it comes down to. When I looked at these two together at surface level, it makes a lot of sense to compare them. But when you look a little deeper, they're just very different style movies, and they both are extremely successful at what they are attempting to do and what they're trying to be. So it really just comes down to personal taste, is what you want more from the films at that point. In this case, for us, is more Nice Guys than other guys most of the time, I guess. I hope that Russell Crowe will continue to do just stuff that he enjoys doing, because he's sort of way past that, doing these heavy dramatic roles. He feels like he just wants to have some friggin' fun.
What the hell
exactly.
Yeah, what he's going to
just hope he continues.
I think he will. I do think he will. So that's true. Ryan Gosling in the Mickey Mouse Club. That's true. I remember that. That's true. I always forget that.
Wait, what?
Ryan Gosling was in the Mickey Mouse Club. Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, he's one of those Mickey Mouse clubs.
Okay, Russell Crowe has the movie coming out with Zac Efron, The Greatest Beer Run Ever. The one where he's taking beers to his best friends. Like, Russell Crowe is in that one. You can tell that he's...
I can't wait to see
that.
I'm not a Zac Efron fan, but that sounds incredible.
Oh, yeah. That actually sounds fun. And I've heard it's like a little bit more dramatic than you would think. I've heard that.
I get that.
But it is going to be fun. Yeah, Greatest Beer Run Ever. He's also in Craven the Hunter. He's also going to be the Georgetown Project. I don't know what that is. And, well, we do know...
Craven the Hunter?
Nikolai Kravinoff. I'm guessing that's Craven's mentor.
Oh, that's Jared Leto's movie.
Is that Jared Leto's movie?
Morbius is going to be in that one.
That's true. I forgot that. That's what I heard.
No more Jared Leto.
No, wait. Is that the same universe, though?
Yeah,
Craven the Hunter.
Yeah, it'll be a Sony. It's a Sony Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, that's right. That's Jared Leto.
Putting Jared Leto in movies. I'm tired of these hack musicians like Harry Styles and Jared Leto being in movies.
Oh, Harry Styles is actually pretty good at movies, I think.
Well, that's interesting that he's going to be in both Marvel movies.
Yeah,
think about it.
I think the "Don't Worry, Darlings" is going to turn you around, Matty.
I've heard it's shit.
Yeah,
that's what I've heard. I've heard.
It's got a terrible production history.
The
movie
like,
itself,
the Venice Film Festival said no, it's not.
He got like a standing ovation of like 4 minutes long or something.
That whole thing is fucking bullshit. Right now, it's got about 39%.
It's got a 55-minute standing ovation.
39% on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's from just the critics after a festival. Usually, the festivals come out, they're like, "Oh, this is a great movie, Then it starts going down. This is starting really low.
I'm thinking Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
I saw the news. I saw the news, and I'm thinking Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser.
Shout out Brendan Fraser. Like that man's gonna have the best comeback of all time, and I can't.
He was in The Mummy.
Yes, Crow's The Mummy. He was the best part.
And a really good role. Actually, The Mummy is bad, but it's enjoyable shit.
It's enjoyable shit. It's not enjoyable. It's one of the worst.
I still think it's enjoyable shit.
The problem is they had this whole thing set up. They tried to set up the Dark Universe way too early, and that was his inclusion. Crow's in that to set up a future Mummy movie or future Dark Universe movie, and it just killed it. The whole thing. They had to make a good movie first, and then you can worry about that shit. But Russell Crowe is also in Marvel and both the Sony Marvel-verse and the regular MCU as Zeus. Yeah, I mean, that's something he might come back as Zeus at some point because there's a Hercules project probably in talks, and if there's going to be a Hercules project, I can't see Zeus not being part of it. So,
yeah, that's weird. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Because
isn't Aaron Taylor Johnson playing Kraven?
Playing Kraven?
Yeah, I think so.
We have Aaron Taylor Johnson, and then Ariana DeBose is in there as like Kraven's love interest. Christopher Abbott is the villain. A couple other people. What else to say?
We're going full mediocre white dudes on this episode.
We are doing two. We are three mediocre.
White dudes.
Way off.
Three average as fuck white dudes.
In that case, you know what? It is time to close. Let's mentioning two mediocre white dudes on the film. It's returning this week. PJ and I finally got back together. We recorded an episode for Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. That'll come out on Wednesday. It's a good at least 20, 25 minutes before I even mention the movie's name. There's actually a tweet about somebody. I felt like it was a subtweet directed completely at us. They're talking about how podcasts go about an hour and to wait like 20 or 30 minutes before they get to the main time. Like I felt like I was seen and attacked, but that's what we do. That's coming out on Wednesday. I also want to throw out there the Queen podcast, Crown Jewels, is also coming back this week. Instead of coming out today, I've decided to change my schedule a little bit. I'm going to have Class Action Tuesday, two mediocre white dudes on film on Wednesday. Crown Jewels will come out on Thursday. And this week I'm talking about, I say we, like it's a royal we. I guess I could use the royal we because it's about Queen, right? So we are talking about White Queen as it began, my favorite Queen song, probably of all time.
Wow.
White Queen. That's because, it makes sense because you're whitewashing with Ed Harris almost every episode, so I get it why White Queen is
one of my other ones is also The March of the Black Queen is also one of my favorite songs.
Well saved.
Well saved. That is all right. I do want to say patreon.com/BLD projects. I did kind of slip and I apologize for that. This month has been a very, very hectic for me with the my other job ending and the Spectacular being taped. That just blew a lot of time out of the water. We're going to get back to doing our hangouts, doing our watch-alongs, doing more extra content for you. I want to thank all my patrons who have stuck with me, specifically Danielle Ramirez, Brandon Buckingham, Brady Parker, Jeff Alterman, John Lustrina, the aforementioned Kelly W. We love you guys so much. I appreciate that as well. You can find me at Paul DiNuzzo on Twitter. You can also find me occasionally with the Action Guys when they're just going to start getting more consistent as well with Ben's tour wrapping up and Drew getting back in town. I should be there a little bit more. And of course, you should also check out the Schmodown ending. Check out Christian Harloff's The Big Thing. There's a new Patreon there. A lot of things they're going to be doing. A lot of things I'm trying to help them out with as well. It should be a lot of fun there. So check that out. That's it for me. Where can the folks find you, Richard?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Richard-Erik with a K Jarvi, and on Letterboxd. Follow me there and I'll follow you back. I love seeing the little mini reviews on Letterboxd. And for next week, I'm hoping that maybe we can push something and do Goodfellas versus Snatch, maybe. I know PLD is not too hyped about that one, but I know Matty wants to do it, and I'm seeing Goodfellas in the cinema tomorrow. So
I will do it. I will do it for you guys. Only reason is I watched The White House Down recently, so I kind of don't want to have to rewatch it.
All right, I do get that.
But at the same time, I'm okay. You're watching the cinema. I'll make it happen. We'll work it out. We'll do it. We will do Goodfellas versus Snatch next week.
White House matchup right after that one.
White House Down versus Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah.
So absolutely. Okay, Matty, where can the folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Matty Gunner, Instagram Matty_Gunner. You can find my band Mourner on all DSPs, Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. We got our brand new song just announced the other day. It's going to be coming out October 26th, called Hope Fell Silent. And if anyone watching it, I know we get quite a few watches after on VOD. If anyone's in London and you are around the Borough Yards area, on Saturday, they're for the Ben Ramers Foundation for a premiere of their new Smiles video for World Suicide Prevention Day. I'm going to be in attendance with a bunch of other people from the skateboard community. Come down. It's going to be there's going to be a Q&A, important conversation and a great conversation about suicide, addiction, all that stuff. So come down and hang out.
All right, sounds good. It's great of you to promote that, Matty.
Yeah, all proceeds are going towards the Ben Ramers Foundation.
That's awesome. That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, then. Like I said, we got next week's install, and we'll go from there. I guess until next time. What do I say? Judgment is served, and what's the other thing I say, Richard? You can say it this time.
Court is adjourned.
There you go.